Hello there, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Major League Soccer is right around the corner. Week 17 means we are halfway through the Major League Soccer season. We had some schedule congestion, a really good midweek set. Let's run it back and get some positive units for this weekend, too. I'm Bob here with my co-hosts Scott and Deon. Thank you guys for joining us here, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure, if you're new, you subscribe so you know every time we go live. Monday with a recap show, Thursday with some bets, unless there's midweek madness, and then we just go Tuesday live, Thursday live, a couple Fridays live in there too if things don't work out when life comes at us. But you found us. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you follow us. Your favorite podcast app, Spotify, now with video. It's going to help us bring you videos like this each and every week. Gentlemen, again, we are back on like the Clean Teas commercial here. Digging it. We got the Joseph Martinez shirt.
I love that.
Biggest villain in Red Bull history, and they're playing this weekend, so it's right on topic here. Gentlemen, we had a great week, so let's talk about that instead. Taking a look at some of our bets, I went 3-3. Deon 2-1 with one draw, no bet. Scott 2-1 with two big plus money plays lands us on the positive side for the week, up 2.97 units on a midweek. That is classy. If you can get that midweek money, hardest bets in all of sports to gamble. Major League Soccer anyway, but then we're going to add some midweek stuff, some rotation, some travel. It was not that weird, so we're expecting a little more weirdness maybe this weekend as we, settle into the halfway season mark. Going to take a little break there for some international action too. On the season, up 6.63 units as a team, 129 and 132 on 261 wagers. But getting those plus money plays keeps us solid in the green. I'm in the lead, 10.76 units in the green. Scott, 1.65. Alex, minus 1.51, turning around a little bit this midweek. And Deon, minus 5.54, digging himself out of that hole little by little. Rome was not built in a day. Let's get after it with some good plus money plays this week. First up is St. Louis City versus the San Jose Quakes. St. Louis City did not play midweek. However, they used that time instead to fire their head coach, Olaf Melberg, which is probably a good thing for the team. San Jose Quakes are going from LA to St. Louis in pretty good form. They're impressing us a little bit, but they went full send midweek. So is that going to affect our plays? Let's take a look if it affects the sportsbook first. Home odds, plus 100 for St. Louis, plus 210 for the San Jose Quakes. Over 2.5 goals, minus 198. So apparently we're getting some goals in this one. And under 2.5 goals, plus 162. That implied total, that implied probability pushes us, deep into not happening territory. Gentlemen, I have one official play in this. Deon, I want to throw to you because I know you do these and you talk about each and every game. If you had to pick a winner, because you do on your show, which would it be worth stating that you did not place an official wager on this one?
So I went back. We know that they get the coach's bump. Whenever a coach is fired, they get the bump. I just don't know about this St. Louis team. So I did lean towards San Jose to win this on the road. Even though they did full send in midweek, I just don't know if they'll, St. Louis will get that right off the bat. But I do think that they could get that coach's bump and start to win some games and maybe get some more draws. But I just don't see it happening this week. So I would lean towards the Earthquakes in this one.
Speaking of the guy on your shirt, Joseph Martinez, he's old and he played nearly a full match. Chicharrongo looks unavailable. Pellegrino, Espinoza, the whole attack was out there the whole game. That's enough for me. I'm taking St. Louis City on the plus 100. I just think that midweek bye is going to be so valuable. They've been able to really project on their opponent, see what they're doing. This is also a West Coast team heading on very, very short rest to not necessarily East Coast, but East enough, a couple time zones. I think it's going to be tricky. Scott, can you get on board with my official play, which is St. Louis City plus 100?
I have some reservations. We say San Jose went full send, but they played LA Galaxy. That is not the most difficult game you're going to play. Yeah, Martinez's legs are getting a little old, but really, how much running does he have to do? What's his defensive assignment? He doesn't have one. So what are we really looking for is for him to be, explosive in the box. That's what he makes his money on. I agree. St. Louis has had a full week to game plan. They've had time to get the new coach in, to actually practice some stuff. So I think that kind of matters. However, all that said, this San Jose team, there are still no slouches. They can score goals. If I were dicing this one, I'd look at it maybe a different way rather than picking a winner. Joseph Martinez is plus 185 to have 2 or more shots on target in this game. He hit that in the last game against the Galaxy. Doesn't have to score for that to hit. So that would be the kind of thing I'd be looking at for this one.
With a player like that, you're not even sure how many minutes he's going to have or anything like that. St. Louis,
if he starts, it hits. When he starts, that hits. And with Chicho out, he's usually going to start.
Be pretty confident in that. Worth noting, St. Louis City is going to have to do something a little different. Totland and Horn are both questionable, so maybe not a 5-man back line. Again, it may be good. I don't trust San Jose to really make those adjustments. In the coaching battle, San Jose wins. They have a legend, but I think it's going to be just enough here, the home team, the no travel to push them over the line. Heading now to Nashville SC hosting NYCFC. Two teams with similar records, 8-4-4 for Nashville, 7-3-6 for NYCFC. This game is 4:30 at Geodis Park. Looking at the odds here, heavy home favorites. Nashville SC minus 120. The draw is at plus 260. And the away odds are plus 300 if you have an inkling at NYCFC at taking a win. Please don't take that bet. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 128 for the over, and plus 106 for the under. In this one, I'm looking at a home team that's in good home form against an away team in poor away form. Like, this is one of those where the home-away splits just matter more for me. In a bubble, it's probably a push for me, to be honest. But NYCFC, we have them in our recent memory playing quite poorly, and that's going to guide my decisions here a little bit. I'm the only one not with an official play here, so why don't we throw over to Scott first and find out what he's thinking?
Well, I'm thinking very much what you just said. Nashville has the best home form in the league. NYCFC's away form is 10th in the East, 1 win, 3 draws, and 3 losses. Not very great. 7 games played. They've scored 6 goals. That's not encouraging. So I like Nashville. I looked at that minus 120. That's not unacceptable odds, but I thought I could probably do a little bit better. So I went with a Nashville win and a small over, just over 1.5. That doesn't mean Nashville has to score twice. Just Nashville wins. I mean, they do kind of have to score twice for that to hit, but it's just Nashville and having a couple of goals in this. I think that's really, really doable. Nashville are scoring 2 goals a game. So this is really, really plausible. And that's a plus 125.
Like that a lot. We have Lucas jumping in saying Cashville in the chat. That's a reminder, guys. Jump in the chat. Just drop a comment. We'll bring it right up and we'll talk about it on the screen. Next up, Lucas has to say that Chicago are frauds. It's a thing he's dropped every single show so far. Deon, you have an official play in this one too. A little bit different, but both can cash out at the same time.
Yeah, just a little bit different than what Scott has there. I do have Nashville. He pretty much hit on everything that I was going to talk about. They're averaging 2.1, but I went a little bit different. I said under 4.5. it was still plus money. I was looking for plus on this game, and I found it with the under 4.5. And like, I don't think there's any way that this match should go over that. So as long as Nashville wins, I get the money. And one other stat, NYCFC has not won at Geodis Park in the 3 matches that they have played there. So you kind of got to go with the home side, and Nashville just look good right now.
Nashville have seen the over on 4.5 goals at home one time in the 9-goal game that they played against the Chicago Fire. Deon Riley saying Nashville, just based on the fact that NYCFC got beat 3-0 to Houston. We saw that coming. Not us, because we had pro NYCFC plays. And Jordan saying, never a fan of adding 0.15 to a money line. Gives a false sense of security. Either add 2.5, take win to 0. Yeah, we juice those sometimes here, but got to make some money somehow. Next up, my New York Red Bulls are hosting Deon's Atlanta United. Red Bull 7 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses. Atlanta 4 wins, 5 draws, 7 losses. When you look at the betting lines, of course, Red Bull are heavy home favorites, -110 to Atlanta United being +270. Over 2.5 goals, -136. Under 2.5 goals, +112. This is exactly what I would expect in a non-betting week, in like a non-midweek. This is just a very standard odds line coming from the sportsbook right now. Deon, Atlanta at New York is not something dreams are made of for Atlanta United. You guys get rooked every time. It is like, that is your number. Just come take your loss, and it's just a matter of how much, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we have not won there at Red Bull Arena. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't put a bet in this one.
Read the graphic at Sports Illustrated Park now.
Oh.
Sorry, Sports Illustrated Stadium. I didn't even get the right.
Sorry. Sports Illustrated Stadium. What sellouts?
That's a terrible name.
It's actually the worst case scenario, because what we were being told, it was kind of leaked that they were working on a deal with like Caesars or one of the sports books. It was going to be named after that and have like a sports book lounge inside. I would be VIP everywhere. My press pass would not say no field access. It would say go anywhere you want. This guy's king. But instead of a magazine that's no longer around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was going to say, is it just a digital one now? Is it even that at this point?
They laid everybody off. How are they affording this?
Do you remember they were actually having AI write MLS articles?
Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I don't think with this one, I think I will say in my video, because I'm biased, I think that Atlanta go on the road and get a point in this match. But it would not surprise me if the Red Bulls won like 3-1 or even 3-0. I mean, Red Bulls are averaging 2.6 goals a match there at home, and Atlanta's given up almost 2.2. So I would definitely, if I was betting, I would put my money on the Red Bulls in this one.
Something strange happened this week, which is Atlanta United scoring 7 goals in the matter of 7 days. So I'm not taking Red Bull to win straight up. I'm just taking the team total over 1.5 goals at -118. It's almost exactly the same odds as a win. And you'd have to think if they score 2, they're going to win anyway. But I need that insurance in case Atlanta goes off, in case, something wild happens. I need that insurance. These are rivals. This is a rivalry game. You have to remember Atlanta's first MLS Cup was the Red Bulls Shield winning year, and they came to Red Bull Arena, and it was the first time in team history they beat the Red Bulls. And when we talk about rivalries, I think that this is one that kind of comes and goes. It'll be awakened once more in the playoffs, but it is a rivalry match. Red Bull team total over 1.5 -118. Moving now to see FC Cincinnati hosting DC United. This game is going to be at TQL Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. FC Cincinnati 9 wins, 4 losses. DC United 3 wins, 7 losses. Two very different teams in form, and what you get as a result, some of the longest home odds you'll see this week. -200 for FC Cincinnati on the outright win. 320 if you favor the draw, +500 if you like DC United. Over 2.5 goals, minus 172. Under 2.5 goals, plus 140. I have no official play. Scott has an official play. Deon has no official play. Deon, do we agree that this is like a heavy FC Cincinnati? And not only that, but if we're expecting over 2.5 goals, FC Cincinnati is going to have to score all 3 of them. DC United is not a team I can trust right now, but they do have players that I trust. So I might be tinkering back in a little bit before game time just to see what some of these player props are on some of the, Evander guys like that. Let's throw over to Scott, who has the only official play.
I do have the only official play. It's not, I want to preface this. This is not a vote of confidence in DC United, who have failed to score in like 3 of their last 5 games. But I am choosing both teams to score and over 2.5. That's minus 105. That is actually a vote of sort of confidence in Cincinnati's ability to allow goals. They've conceded 22 goals this season, which is a lot. They've scored 24 times. They only have like a +2 goal difference. This is a feature of this team. They find ways to concede goals right now. And that's what I expect to have happen here. I think Cincinnati is going to win this game, but not to 0.
I like that play a lot. I'm trying to pull up the stats from when Haglund went down, and it basically wasn't good. I think he went down. Atlanta was like up, had like 1 goal. So there's been 6 goals in 150 minutes since Haglund's went down with that injury. Miazga's not the guy he used to be. This defense is not what it used to be. I am a little worried about guys like DeAndre Yedlin, who just played a full match. I know they got guys like Engel that they can rotate in and out. I love FC Cincinnati. I love Scott's bet. Just not enough to make it one of my own. I do think both teams score here, but it might just be a little extra help on DC United. Like I think I would rather take the 3.5 than the 2.5 in both teams.
Yeah, it's both teams is the one that kind of worries me about this, but that Cincy defense is just so suspect right now. So suspect. So that's where I'm at. Cincy money line plus 1.5. We see where Lucas is landing on this one.
Yeah, and I like that in the chat there, guys, with some different betting strategy. One isn't a fan of adding 1.5 to a money line. That's Jordan. Says gives us a false sense of security. Add 2.5, go big or go home. And Lucas saying Cincy money line plus 1.5. So I like those plays absolutely. If it makes sense to bring the prop up, the when you parlay together, if it brings it up to a certain level, it's good. But you're right, that 1.5, unless it's adding 30 points, it might not really be worth it in the long run for you there, because it is such a tricky. The 1-0 happens in soccer a lot more than you would expect.
By the way, Dean Riley saying Kevin Denke to score, maybe. He is plus 110 as an anytime goal scorer, if you like that.
Not enough for me in this one. Okay, Inter Miami, 7 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. Columbus Crew, 7 wins, 7 draws, 2 losses. This game is Saturday, 7:30 at Chase Stadium. Looking at the odds, okay, Inter Miami minus 120. Columbus Crew plus 310. I do like Columbus Crew at plus 310, but not to win this game outright. And it's going to be what we've talked about all week long. Travel, different things going on, squad rotation. And the fact that Inter Miami just has like a whole second squad. They have 22 guys on their squad that they can sub in and out as they like. They did have some injuries. I know Jordi Alba left. Someone else left early. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the player. I'll pull it up in just a second here. But there's a lot of variables in this one. And we have 2 official plays, myself and Scott. So Scott is going to riff on that while I pull up the injured player list.
Basically, I looked into the history of this matchup. These are teams that generally score against each other. They don't draw a lot, which was an interesting, kind of historical perspective. The Columbus Crew, in the meantime, kind of in a rough patch, 4 draws and 1 loss in their last 5 games. Inter Miami, they've got their stars back. Their stars are starting to perform again. They look a little bit better. But I kind of agree with the MLS recap crew where they're like, I'm not totally bought in on Miami being like all the way back. There's still weaknesses in this group. The defense is still giving up goals. They're not there yet, but the stars are bailing them out. And that's kind of what I see as well. So I looked at this. I said, hey, this is probably a both teams to score scenario. How do you get that into a playable zone? Well, it's both teams to score, no draw at -105. I know Columbus has the 4 draws in 5, games, but those are not against Miami.
Absolutely. I think there's just going to be a little extra in this one. Out, most likely, Luan and Alba, who both left the Miami game injured last night. And for Columbus, they have some options, but it looks like they'll be out with Schulte will be out, and Farsi Zawitsky are questionable. So like the wingbacks and the goalie are questionable for that squad. I like it too, so much so that I saw Scott play it and stole his pick. This is not something I came to on my own. I just looked at it. I liked it. Both teams to score, no draw, -105. Headed now to CCF Montreal, 1 win, 5 draws, 10 losses. Host the New England Revolution, 5 wins, 5 draws, and 4 losses at Stade Saputo. When you look at the home odds here, +125 for Montreal, +195 for the Revolution. That's a good price if you like what the Revolution have been doing recently. Over 2.5 goals, -132. Under 2.5 goals is at +108. I am the only official play here, so I'm going to throw over to Deon, who's going to, break this down a little bit for us.
Yeah, so I mean, we know that Montreal have not performed well. They have not won at home yet this season. So I mean that 195 in favor of the Revs is pretty, it looks good. I just, with the rotations, and we know how the midweek week is and travel and stuff. It was hard for me to not I stayed away from it from the betting aspect. But I mean, my stuff is saying like it's going to be a draw, but also the win probability heavily in favor of the Revs on the road. Just, I could see this being a low scoring game also. And it's going to be one of those things. I could see this being a 1-0 or like a 1-1 draw, and the 1-0 being either way, like potentially Montreal get their first win of the season. But yeah, that I just couldn't do anything with this one.
Montreal did get their first win of the season. It was a while ago. I think it was against NYCFC, but yeah, their first home win. That would be fantastic. Montreal has 12 goals in 16 games this season, and a third of their home games have had both teams not score. New England Revolution, 30 total goals in 16 games, under 2 goals per game. 5 of their 9 away games have had both teams to score. No. That's my official play. Both teams to score no at +130. If this was at +100, I don't think I would have looked twice at it, but on my model, it was like glaring, like blinking in red. Like, this is the one. You're getting a lot on its implied probability. I like your prediction of 1-0 better. 2-0 could also work. 0-0 can work. All those score lines will hit. I don't see both teams scoring here. New England Revolution, even when they were bad, their defense was playing pretty good. Well, now Campana's been in and out. I think last night they started like Gonago and Chonkalai up top. Like, that's not a winning combination. And there's just enough here. Montreal is in pretty good form. They're keeping it low. They have Waterman back, who they were missing last week on a red card suspension, if I remember correctly. I just don't think both teams are scoring here. Scott?
The Revolution, a sneaky good away team. They're second in the East for away form and all of that together. So I definitely do like pro Revolution plays. The Revolution, though, their defense is really good at keeping it low. They for away games, they barely concede more than a goal a game. So, really good chance here for them to keep a clean sheet. For Montreal, I mean, it's hard to, put any faith in Montreal, but for anything. But yeah, I think this one has as good a chance as any.
Thank you for that. Let's move right on. Orlando City hosting the Chicago Fire. Orlando 7-6-3. The Fire 5 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. Home odds tell the story we would have expected to see. Orlando City -160, huge home favorites. The away team is at +380. Of course, we expect goals. How many? Well, the home team total over a goal and a half, -174 for the over, +136 for the under. The away team total, +215 for the over, -290 for the under. So, like, the sportsbook is saying that this is a 2-1 game, and there's no other scenario we're going to accept. I don't necessarily see that being the case. Neither does Scott. Deon would be okay with that. Deon, let's go to your first official play, because I guess it's like the most milk toast. Not making any harsh predictions here, just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah. I mean, with this one, I went with I feel like it might be a little bit of an odd one, but both teams to score and over 2.5. Yes, it is at -115, but I couldn't go with the over 3.5. I know that everything is pointing to that with the way Orlando is scoring 2.5 at home, giving up 1.4, and then Chicago, it's even worse, giving up. They give up 2.5 goals a match on the road, but they're scoring 2.3. I could easily see this being a 3-2 match or a 3-3, yes, but just we talk about it all the time with the rotation, and like Chicago is traveling a good bit. They've been, I think this is their this will be their third road game in a row, I believe. Yes, it is. So I just got a feeling it might not get to that point. So I went with the over 2.5 instead of the over 3.5.
Love that play. Scott, tell me how you approach it, because me and you both had the same play, which is just taking the over on 3.5 goals at +154. When I said 2.5 goals, like, the sportsbook wants 3 goals. That is the only thing we are considering. The odds just inflate and deflate so much when you go away from 3 goals.
Yeah, and I just can't understand that. I'll admit something right up front, that I shamelessly stole this one off of you. I saw yours and I was like, that's a good play. And then I looked at the stats and I was like, that's a really good play. Because Chicago Fire in 8 road games, they've seen 38 goals. That's more than 3. Let's see now. Then Orlando, in their home games, in 8 games, they've seen 31. That's also more than 3. So both these teams on average see more than 3 goals in a game in this scenario. I mean, what do you want? Chicago is not going to get shut out in this game, most likely. That's just not what they do. They are also very likely to concede a whole bunch of goals. Orlando likes scoring goals.
I went even a little deeper down the rabbit hole and pulled up the Orlando home against the Chicago away. Orlando at home, 8 games, 20 goals scored, 11 goals against, and they've had over 3.5 goals in 5 of their 8 home games. Chicago Fire, 8 away games, 18 goals, 20 goals against. They were over 3.5 in 6 of their 8 games. +154 probability, which is what we are betting this at, gives us an implied probability of 39%. This is happening much more than 50% of the time this season. I have it going out about 46% of the time. So this is one of those plays that, like, I think it happens less than half the time, but since you're getting such a juicy +154, it makes up for all the times that you might lose this bet. Also worth noting for the Chicago Fire, which is why I think our model brought the offense down a little bit. Gutierrez was suspended on a red card last Saturday. They didn't play midweek. So while the rest of the team might be fresh, not Brian Gutierrez. He will not be on the field for this one. So worth noting there. But maybe, you get some magic from Alex Freeman running around the outside. Really, I could take him on Gutman all day. Gutman on Freeman crime. I would love to see that 4 goals happen just that way. 3 official plays. Over 3.5 for myself and Scott. And Deon, both teams score over 2.5, -115. Moving now to Toronto hosting Charlotte. This is a very not good team against what was a good team in pretty poor form. Toronto, 3 draws, 3 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses. Charlotte, 7 wins, 1 draw, and 8 losses. This is also a 7:30 game at BMO Field. Ironically, we are talking about, I think it's 8 games, and none of them are the late or the Sunday matches. We just couldn't find on the last 4 matches of the week anything worth playing. So these are all going to be, the before 10 o'clock kickoffs that we're talking about today. Toronto FC plus 170 home dogs. Charlotte plus 145 on the road. Over 2.5 goals, minus 122. The under is even at plus 100. 2 official plays, they are the same. Myself and Deon. You're tired of hearing me talk? Deon, over to you.
Yeah, so for this one, Charlotte just doesn't look good on the road. 1 win, 1 draw, 6 losses there on the road. Yes, Toronto has only won 1 with 2 draws, 6 losses so far there at home. With the rotation and just the poor form that Charlotte has been in, I went with Toronto, but draw no bet. Just for that safety, I think that Toronto are like right there at getting some home wins. They're, last week they played against Philadelphia Union at home. Philadelphia is a great team. They lose 2-1. They play the match day before that, they play Nashville, which Nashville is pretty much on fire right now, we can say. They lose that match 2-1. So they're like right there. And both of those teams are definitely better than Charlotte, and especially on the road. I think this is a chance for Toronto to get that win.
I totally
like it.
agree with that.
I dug into the stats. TFC at home, 1-2-6. Charlotte away, 1-1-6. They are both quite bad. Going a little deeper, Toronto, 5 goals, 10 goals against at home. That's a 2-to-1 ratio in the negative. Charlotte, 9 goals, 18 goals against on the road. 2-to-1 in the negative. They're both equally as bad, so why not take the team that hasn't traveled? They played in Toronto. They're still in Toronto. Charlotte is going to make a little trip up north. According to my model, Charlotte has a 28.5% chance to win, so the draw no bet at plus 100 is a great official play. Me and Deon both picked that for this one. Toronto or throw it out. I like that a lot. Even money against a very struggling Charlotte side. And now this is the last match we're talking about today. Again, the last 4 we had no official plays. FC Dallas, 4 wins, 5 draws, 6 losses. Hosting the Philadelphia Union, 10 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. This is an 8:30 match, Toyota Stadium. The home team, FC Dallas, plus 155. The away team, Philadelphia, plus 150. Draw sitting at plus 250 right now. Over 2.5 goals, minus 136 to the over. And for the under, plus 112. Team total for Philadelphia, because that's really kind of where I was looking when I was looking at making a bet. Plus 126 for an over 1.5 on the road. Yeah, they're a good team. I just don't want to put that kind of money down unless I'm getting plus 150, plus 145, something like that, just to get the juices flowing there. For me, I have no official plays, but Scott and Deon, you both have official plays. Let's throw over to Scott, see what he's thinking.
Well, I like Philly on the road, actually. They 5 wins, 2 losses, no draws. They are a very good road team. Dallas at home, 1 win on the season. Then it's like 1-3-3, something like that. They're bad at home. Don't like that. I feel really confident in the way that Philly is playing. So I wanted to start from a pro Philly perspective. I didn't really want to just bet Philly and walk away. I wanted to kind of protect myself a little bit. So I looked for a double chance. And I paired it with an over because I don't see how this game can not hit an over, actually. Both of these teams see well north of 2.5 goals per game. So I did a Philly double chance and over 2.5. That's plus 125. I think it's pretty solid with the way that these teams play, with their trends and with their stats. Deon, I don't know if you see it any differently.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't even think about the double chance in this one. I really like your play here, Scott, and I might have to switch to it. But for the video, I went with Philadelphia draw no bet. I did the draw no bet just to be safe. I mean, Philadelphia, you said they're 5 wins and 2 losses on the road this season. FC Dallas at home are 1-1-4. They are awful at home, which makes no sense because they're doing fairly well on the road. But I everything points to Philadelphia, and like Philadelphia should just be an easy pick, but just that safety net, because again, with these midweek matches, we just don't know with rotation and stuff. I put the safety net in there, so I went with the draw no bet.
Like that a lot. I would favor Deon's side. I like Philadelphia draw no bet at -115 a little more, just because Dallas can't be expected to be that dance partner in and over, they're pretty rough. But Glavanovic, he's out for this one. I'm looking at an updated injury report here. Iragade for Dallas, their big center back, is not going to be there. He'll be subbed in by Abubakar or by Ibiaga. That I like. I want to see Abubakar trying to chase Baribo and Ura down. I love that matchup, something that I would attack each and every day. So I do like Philadelphia with the win here. Unfortunately, not a bet I could make because of travel. They were just in Toronto. Now they're heading down to Dallas. That's quite a bit away from home. And it's going to be 83 at kickoff at night. We've had warm temperatures on the East Coast, but we haven't had 83 at night. And I think that this is one of the few matches that Dallas can really show good form, show what it's like to be, in Texas on one of these. I like it, and I like the draw no bet. I would need to have that insurance. I would not bet Philadelphia, although +150 is really, really good. I really like what's going on there with that. Let's just check the chat before we finish up here, guys. 2 official plays on that one. Philly double chance over 2.5, +125. And the Philadelphia draw no bet at -115. Zen saying Toronto did score first against Philadelphia. Correct. Someone bringing up that Orlando kept a clean sheet against Portland. Orlando money line, don't like the odds, but Chicago are frauds. And Chicago are frauds. Thank you, Lewis. Got to throw that in there each and every week.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay. So just on the Toronto point that Zen's bringing up, Toronto scored first against Philly. Toronto's losses are all pretty close, right? 2-1, 1-0, that kind of thing. They're in those games. Charlotte, who they're playing against, not so much. When they lose, they're losing by multiple goals at a time. So, when you really look at what they've done lately, right? They have one win against a Columbus team who has not won in 5 games at least, has not won for a while, and and not much else other than that. They're losing by multiple goals. So a very interesting matchup gets even more interesting for me.
I absolutely agree there. Thank you guys for hitting the comment section up. Again, remember, we are live each and every Monday and Thursday. You want to talk during the recap? Come in, drop a comment, tell us how great you did. Rub it in our face when you beat us in a bet. We do have to finish up with one more slide because I got yelled at. I did not post the recap of the show slide, and someone must be out there screenshotting it to follow our bets. Here it is for us. I have 6 official plays here, 5 for Scott, 4 for Deon, Alex sitting this one out. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a really, really fun show. I always love when the comment section gets jumping. So let's keep that as the thing. Just keep an eye out as midweek and as these games get a little crazy. We're not sure what we're going to do during the break that's coming up in a little bit, but it's going to involve us being live. We're going to be bringing on some guests, maybe recapping teams that had the most unpredictable first half of the season, or, once those players get signed, we find out where Kevin De Bruyne's going. We can give that live to you, break that news. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great week. Good luck betting out there.